look around the crowd and I see at least 3 of my former educators, a couple of my former colleagues in the legislature, priests, pastors, folks who've really taught me about the purpose of peace and solidarity and how important it is and how it's something that we just can't take for granted. So when I hear about what's happening in Ukraine, it just echoes with so much history, right? I mean, there's the thought of war in Europe was something that I thought, at least what I learned in Tammy's class in high school, was that the NATO alliance was supposed to stop this from happening, and here we are with war on the doors of Europe. And so something that we thought was something that was left behind us in history is here with us now. I don't know the last time I thought about Chernobyl, right? And suddenly that's in the news again, and the prospect of what will happen at the site of the worst nuclear disaster that anyone can remember. I don't know if I can remember a time since I was a kid before the Cold War ended where the prospect of nuclear weapons being used suddenly comes to the front of mind and something we have to think about. So it has been just somebody said our hearts ache to watch this. I think that's right. Our hearts ache to see what is happening in Ukraine. And so I think it is so important that we stand in solidarity with Ukraine and just acknowledge some of the things that are happening here that are just so powerful to watch. What's happening in Ukraine reminds us that democracy is not guaranteed. And so as we watch these Ukrainians fight for these democracy, I hope you would all say this with me, we stand with Ukraine. So
stand with Ukraine.
So as we watch these brave Russians protest their government for starting this war, as we watch these families who are becoming refugees go to their border, and families being separated as women and children go over the border and men go back to courageously fight for the democracy, we stand with Ukraine. I think the efforts that we're doing here with the Racine Interfaith Coalition are so important. I think of the line from the prayer of St. Francis that Tammy read earlier about where there is despair, there is hope. And I think that's what we're trying to do here is have hope even in what looks like what might be despair. I'll just leave you with one last observation that really humbles me and gives real hope for what might happen in Ukraine. It is the area of social media, so we see things that are happening in Ukraine in real time. And just before I came up here, there was a video that was taken at one of the train stations of Ukrainian refugees trying to escape the war that they're in the midst of right now. And there was a piano in the middle of the square, and a woman sat at the piano sitting on her suitcase as a piano bench and started playing Louis Anderson's What a Wonderful World. And I just thought, well, if you were looking for a better way to illustrate hope in the midst of what could be a desperate situation, it was really a beautiful moment. So as the mayor of the city and on behalf of the residents of the city of Racine, we stand in solidarity with Ukraine. We stand in solidarity
stand in solidarity with Ukraine.